Jeff from Chillin N Grillin with Jeff here. Back in season 1, we visited Dave and Margy and saw an incredible backyard. He had barbecues and food cooking everywhere. He recently got a hold of me and said, Jeff, changed a few things in the backyard. Love you to come back and see what we did. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's take a look. Alrighty, well, yeah, wow, this looks a little bit different. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Dave? Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for
again.
the invitation back. This looks incredible. My goodness.
Thank you.
Dave got a hold of me. He said, hey, I know you were here back in season 1. What do you want to come back and take a look at the backyard and see what we did? And I said, sure. I'm speechless. This looks amazing. I'm guessing that Margy had a lot to do with the gardens and the plants and the design. No offense, Dave, but I see Margy's touching here a little more than yours.
None taken. That's definitely Margy's project. She did a great job. Had a couple years to establish certain plants and try some new stuff, and we've ended up with a nice selection this year.
Perfect. And if you're going to be locked down for the summer, I want to be locked down here.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
So tell me a little bit about what you did. Now, when we were here before, the pool wasn't here.
Nope.
The deck was here. There was about 1,000 barbecues cooking and more meals than I could count. So what exactly did you add? You added the pool.
Yeah, we added a pool. This terrace used to be a hill, so there was some excavation done and a retaining wall put here to give us this flat spot that we use quite a bit. And then we had to create a spot sort of in a magical place on that hill where all the engineering worked out and we still had enough space to be able to put some chairs and stuff in.
Yeah, because I know when we were here last year, if you were told me you were going to put a pool in, I'd had to scratch my head and wonder, where are you going to do that? But you figured it out, and it looks fantastic. It's sort of layered effect, and coming up to the putting green here, that's okay.
But it was definitely an engineering feat, and that's been over for a couple years now, so we've just managed to enjoy it this year.
Now, as I'm talking, I'm kind of looking back, and I was joking, but you had pretty close to 1,000 barbecues here last time. I don't see as many barbecues. We're going to head up there in a minute, but I see an outdoor kitchen below the deck. Yeah. So you've added more ways to cook.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, yeah, who knew?
Who knew there were more ways for Dave to cook in the backyard, but you discovered that.
Yeah, so we all like our grilling and smoking and stuff like that, but then there comes that time where, you know, if you got a group of people over and you're just doing some simple burgers and want to put some fries down or something like that, the cooktop there, the charbroiler and the flat top just kind of make short work of that. You can serve everybody all at once and then be all cleaned up pretty quick.
So you've taken Chillin N Grillin to the literal level. If we head up to that deck and take a look, I'll bet you we get an even better view of the backyard, if that's possible.
Sure, yeah.
Let's do that.
We're ready if you are.
Well, I was right. When we come up here, we take another look at the backyard. It's an even better view of everything. You got the putting green over here. We got the pool. Warm back here. We got lots of sun. I know we got some shade working itself in. Margy, I hear you make a great margarita. All right, let's head in and take a look.
All right.
Great looking backyard, like I said. Plenty of sunshine back there. You got the tropical music playing. I'm looking at the pool. Margaritas come to mind. I hear you're the expert. Let's make some.
Let's take care of that. Can never have too much tequila.
Yeah, I like the fact that you grabbed the measuring cup with the tequila, right? Not a teaspoon, none of this shot glass stuff. Like, where's the 5-gallon bucket? I got to add the tequila.
Yeah.
2 of those.
Well,
we're only making one, right?
Well, we're gonna make we might want more than one.
One batch.
So I just have a little tequila, a little triple sec.
Just a little bit.
And then I'm gonna add,
And you fresh squeezed the juice.
I did.
Yes.
I actually added a little bit of orange juice just to sweeten it a little because I find that the lime can sometimes be a little tart. So it's kind of nice to.
Limes and oranges in there.
I just have mostly lime, but I just added 1 orange to that. And the other thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of limoncello again for some sweetness.
Oh, so this is not your traditional, well, very traditional, but you've taken it up a notch a little bit.
We just.
And that's what we would expect in your backyard after all that cooking. We'd expect the margaritas to be taken up a notch for sure.
Sound good? Speaking of sound good, ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
So we got our mixture and
but I'm going to just put a little bit of salt on the rim there.
And just regular salt?
Yeah, you know what I did was I just added a little bit of lemon twist salt.
Oh, okay.
And again, just to give it a little extra jazz.
Love the glass that's going in. Fits
Isn't
in
that
with the whole
fun?
theme of the backyard for sure. All right. Well, we're going to start on the margaritas before we start doing any cooking. And, you know, we have to taste test everything.
Cheers.
Looks great. Cheers. Oh, super refreshing.
Good.
Let's say we head in the backyard, forget the rest of the show, and we'll just lounge around,
Sounds perfect.
drink margaritas off.
Love it.
Perfect. Thanks. We got our margaritas. We got a great view of the backyard.
Yep.
A little bit of music way in the background. It's all perfect.
Yep.
So we got a sort of a Mexican theme going on tonight. What are we going to start off with?
Well, we're going to just start off with something that's an accompaniment to something we're doing later, and we're going to make a guacamole dip. I usually just spoon it out like that. Seem to be able to get most of the pulp.
So how many avocados do you have in here right now?
We have 3.
Okay.
And then we have some seasoning. Basically some garlic salt and some garlic powder, some onion salt. Again, nothing too overpowering. The avocado is for sure the star of this show. So
Absolutely.
you don't want to do too much to take that flavor away. And then if you want to throw the onion in.
Chopped up pretty small as well.
Yeah,
eh?
it's chopped up small, and I really dialed back just enough to give it a little flavor. We didn't want too strong of an onion flavor. And then when we got some plum tomato there, we'll throw that in. Maybe not all of them. Let's just see what it looks like. And then we'll give it a squeeze of fresh lime.
Got to have that lime in there. That's also
Yep.
going to help with the stay fresh, not turn brown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this gives us time to set a little bit, let the flavors mix
Let it
together.
get happy. We're going to let it get happy.
Let it get happy for sure. So again, a little bit of our focus today was going to also be on stuff that's pretty simple.
Mhm.
Like you can put some stuff together that's got a really robust flavor without a whole lot of fuss and muss. And it's got some multi-purpose. We could use it to dip some chips in, or as our intended use will be to dip it in the quesadillas we're going to make later. As we talked about, you have some left over and you could have it in the morning, spread out on some toast, which is quite a healthy
Great way to get
breakfast
started.
alternative.
Let's cook some more.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, I would never expect you to make dessert and not serve a dessert that was cooked on the barbecue. You've got something totally different today. Tell me about what we're going to have for dessert.
Okay, so back with today's theme about simple and as few ingredients as possible to put something together. This is a recipe widely available on the internet, of course. It's called a dump cake, and it's pretty much named for the techniques
Not
that
a lot
use.
of ingredients going on here, so I'm anxious
There's
to see how
not.
this is going to come together.
Yeah, so basically you've got a can of, whatever your preference. This happens to be cherry cranberry. You could use just cherry, any type of pie filling.
Okay.
And then first of all, because that is on the bottom of the pan, we're going to give it a fairly generous spray. It's called a dump cake, but it really sort of gives you a feeling of a cobbler or something like that when it's done. The fruit's on the bottom, and it just puts a nice layer of cake on the top. And then the next ingredient here is just the cake mix. So you could use a vanilla cake. I happen to get chocolate just because the chocolate and cherry always seem to
Chocolate's better than vanilla.
marry
let's be honest.
exactly marry together. So you want to distribute it relatively evenly. There we go there.
All right.
And then
that
we're
on.
going to get some butter, and we're going to shave some butter on top so it's nicely even coated with butter. And the purpose is to really get it evenly coated. Doesn't matter if it melts, if it gets there. Can't really use too much. This gives the cake batter some of its real moisture to turn into cake.
You can never put too much butter.
No.
There's some things, butter, bacon,
Again,
tequila.
so we're looking for about 350 degrees for a half hour. This is definitely something because anything that's a cake or a pastry on the barbecue, you want to have a peek at it. A lot of people say if you're looking, you're not cooking. But if you're not looking, you're also likely to ruin a few meals. So we like to have a peek at things once in a while. So on here, we've got the plate setter in place. So this is indirect heat. On it goes. We've got a little bit of pecan in the smoke or in the charcoal.
All right, Dave. Great theme going on with some great food, something that goes along with our margaritas. What are we making next?
We're going to make a queso dip. So normally we would get a pound of ground beef, a medium, like lean, whatever it is that you happen to like. A pound of melting cheese. This particular one's Velveeta. And then we've got some corn, some black beans, and a can of Rotel. So what we have done, just to make it easy, because this is kind of a handy dip to have on hand, or have the ingredients to have on hand if you've got company that pops in at the last minute or something like that. This is pre-cooked. It's spiced the way we like it, and it's just backpacked and frozen. And then if you know that you're gonna want to whip up a quick queso dip, just go to the freezer and you can de-thaw it in the microwave, or if you know a day ahead of time, you can de-thaw it in the fridge, and it's basically ready to go.
Perfect. That's what I like about coming and watching you cook, Dave. You've got all these little tricks, these little, things that make it super easy. You can whip up a great meal in no time.
The nice thing is it works out to be 1 pound of beef, a pound of this. So quite often you see beef portioned in the grocery store as 1 pound or 2 pound bag.
Yeah.
If you want to double it, of course, everything's double, and they do have a bigger brick of this melting cheese.
That's an important part, is getting a cheese that melts at a low temperature. I've discovered that myself. If you put the wrong cheese in there, you get chunks and it doesn't quite melt properly.
We're looking for
you don't get that true queso feel to it.
So there we have the cheese added in, the Rotel. So again, this is in the grocery section where you find all your tomatoes and crushed tomatoes and that type of canned
Use them all the
product.
time. Spiced up, ready to go.
Yeah. And then maybe we'll add half of the black beans, because we've got really a smallish size recipe on here. And I'll put in half of the... So this is kind of an interesting dish. It just doesn't look like it's coming together. It looks like a pile of stuff, but takes a little attention to keep it stirred.
What about the jalapenos?
Yeah, you know what we're going to do is we're going to get it all melted, and then we're going to put the jalapenos on the top as a little bit of a garnish to cook them. And that way they're not all mixed in. So this is the type of thing where some people don't care for the jalapenos. I like to put it so it's visible, and if you want to just stay away from the jalapeno, you stay away from the jalapeno.
We're not going to stay away from the jalapenos. That's the fourth thing. You can never have too much butter, tequila, bacon, or jalapeno peppers. We're going to throw it on the smoker. 350?
Yeah, about 350. Let it get some heat, and then we'll get to mixing it.
All right, perfect. All right, I know we're going to do something with this corn. Let's check on our queso and see how it's doing. Oh, you can really see it starting to melt up, the cheese.
Exactly. It's slow to get going, and then all of a sudden, you get where you want to be.
And we're just going to let that sit and continue on low heat and let it get happy till we're ready to dig in.
We have got in the habit of a little bit of Frank's Red Hot.
Can't go wrong with that.
No. So
that's the sixth thing. You can't have too much butter, too much bacon, too much jalapeno peppers, too much tequila, and too much Frank's hot sauce.
Again, this is something adjusted for people's flavor. We found...
I love when you're using Frank's in a measuring cup. And that'll mellow out, be a little bit hot right now, but as it cooks for a little while longer, won't be quite as spicy.
We'll get that jalapeno, maybe just sit them on top like you're putting pepperoni on a pizza.
Okay.
Again, this is for if somebody likes it, they can grab a piece. If they want to stay away from it, you just push aside from it.
If you want to add more color to it?
Yeah, I think we're just going to shred a little bit for some color.
So we've got the queso, we got the green jalapenos, and a little bit of red pepper on top. Keep taking it up a notch. Every time I cook with you, there's one more ingredient, Yeah. It's perfect. All right, so you're going to make some Mexican street corn.
Yes.
One of my favorites, but you've got a trick to doing the corn, so tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so as we know, there's all sorts of different ways to do it. You can put this in the barbecue just the way it is and husk it. You can husk it now, roll it around, get it nice and charbroiled. What you want to do is you can see that there's a little taper here. You want to cut back to the thickest part of the cob.
Okay, so this hasn't been cooked, nothing's happened here. We're gonna cut it about here.
Yeah.
So we cut the end off. You threw them in the microwave for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And now this is where we see the magic.
So yeah, if that works like it's supposed to, out comes
wow
your corn. None of that, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure there's a
corn silk on there.
The corn silk. So now we know it's cooked. If we want to put it on the grill to get a little bit of char, get a little of that Maillard reaction going.
Anything on there? Any olive oil? Nothing? Just straight on the grill?
We just put it straight on the grill.
All right, Dave, we got the corn pulled off. We got some beautiful color from the barbecue.
Yep.
That's going to add a little bit of smoky flavor as well. It's not just about color.
This has the sour cream and mayonnaise. The original recipe actually calls for some Mexican fresha. This cream is just about the same thing, sour cream. So instead of trying to source a complicated ingredient.
And did we let these cool off, or we're going to brush it on hot?
Yeah, you know what? I guess that's a good question. You can let it cool off, but then that's going to be what you're eating.
Right.
We'll brush it on. It's for sure going to melt off. It's kind of like butter.
Right.
It gets into the crevices and...
Right. And now we're going to add something to spice this up a bit, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of seasoning are we adding here, Dave?
This is chipotle chili pepper.
Okay.
So this is a true Mexican cojita cheese. No substitute here, although if you were running out of something, any crumbly cheese that would stick would work. I shaved this with a small grinder. And we're going to... And then We're at the cilantro.
The cilantro. All right, we've got our Mexican street corn with cilantro. This one looks nice and charged, so I'm going to go ahead and try this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's cooked perfect. The cheese I love. And the chipotle. A lot of chipotle flavor on that. Well, we've had our cake on for what, about 20 minutes now?
Yeah, 20 minutes, half hour. Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're sitting around 3 1/4, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, perfect.
Now, I've never seen that. Just the idea of dumping the cake mix on there and cooking that is something. And it actually looks good.
Yeah, it is.
Bubbling away. Like the chocolate all kind of melted. The butter got in there.
It's done. We'll take it out and let it cool off because that pie filling gets really, really hot. So
I bet, yeah, bubbling away.
Yeah, we want to give it some time. And it's good lukewarm for serving.
All right, Dave, we're going to get our main course going now.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more ingredients happening this time.
Yeah.
I noticed the chicken kind of looks like what you did with the beef. So tell me, you prepare this ahead of time as well?
So once again, by the time you get the barbecue going here on the weekend, if we've got it on, we'll do like a whole family pack of chicken breasts. And then we portion them into 2 or 4, whatever. So they're vac packed and frozen. And again, when you want to do something like this, you've got at least one part of it taken care of under control. So we're going to make, basic quesadilla. Here, again, it shares a lot of the ingredients.
I'm going to stop right there. I'm pretty sure if you're making it, it's not going to be a basic quesadilla.
Okay. Again, this has already been sauteed. So we've got some onions, some green pepper, some red pepper, some orange pepper. Again, you're making a quesadilla. It's kind of like making a pizza. We've got a real basic Tex-Mex cheese mix, so that suits everybody's palate.
This is already hot. I can see.
Yeah, we wanted to warm it up a little bit because it takes a while for the pan to get warm. Okay, so we'll go here with this. What we're gonna do here, just to get started, is a little bit of duck fat.
And of course, only you would use duck fat instead of oil. That's why I say nothing ordinary about what you're making here.
Yeah, well, again, this is just one of those secret little things. It just adds a little tiny extra note of flavor.
You know, you can't have too much duck fat. You can't have too much bacon, too much butter, too much tequila, too much Frank's hot sauce, or too much duck fat.
Exactly. Very, very, very lightly season this.
And just pick your favorite seasoning again. Doesn't necessarily need to be spicy, but what are you going on?
No, I've just got a basic clubhouse sriracha and lime. So what we're gonna do is for sure get the cheese as the first layer because we want the cheese to stick to the bread or the pita. And then we want the ingredients to stick to the cheese. We just have a little mixture. And it's hard to resist, but you really don't want to put like too much on.
Okay.
So by the time we get through this, and this, it's already going to be thing.
Some of our leftover tomatoes from earlier.
Gives us a chance to use it up. And here's a real nice one. You've got some green chilies here. So if you want to throw another load of cheese on there.
Cheese, all right.
And definitely we've never had anything that was too cheesy. So that helps bind that. We'll get some chicken. We'll probably have more than we need there, but so you can see this is starting to build up.
Yeah,
we've been fairly conservative with all the ingredients, and we're already getting into a fairly big pie.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And now we're gonna throw that on the barbecue. Okay, Dave, let's check our quesadilla. You've got the magic touch for flipping it, right? Let's see how we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get it out of here and off the heat for a bit.
Okay.
So we had quite a bit of cheese on there. A lot of it's oozed out the side. What we want to do is just make sure when we do go to flip, there's enough variables just in that process that we've freed it up from the bottom.
Okay, want to make sure it's nice and loose.
Yeah. Place this over here.
Wow,
boom.
Perfect. I'll move that out of the way.
Yeah. And then if you want to just slide that on.
Back in.
And it's been flipped.
The perfect flip, look at that.
Then we'll just go back in here for the other side.
Dave, you did a great job. You're the master of flipping quesadillas, I can tell.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Both sides cooked beautifully. You can still see the seasoning on there.
Yeah.
Again, love the fact that it's cooked in duck fat. That's one of those Dave things that sort of take it up a notch. Speaking of taking it up a notch, found this laying around.
Yeah,
was using it a bit earlier. I think this would be the optimum weapon for cutting our quesadilla.
Excellent.
Can I get the honors of
yes,
doing this?
Sir. You go
All right.
ahead.
Let's see if it's going to work. Oh, look at that. The crunch, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. You know, everybody wants that crunch in their bite. And that's part of what the duck fat does, right? You get that really subtle frying without deep frying.
And a ton of flavor. I'm getting hungry, so why don't we plate this, grab some of the other stuff that you cooked up. Dave, Margy, what a fantastic afternoon. I'm so glad you invited us back to your yard.
It's fun.
I was so impressed last time, told everybody about your backyard and your cooking. I can't believe you were able to take it up more than it was. This is incredible. It's an amazing backyard. The pool, the putting green, everything looks fantastic. And of course, we end up on the deck cooking, and your cooking skills are incredible. I was joking, Margy, Dave said, it's just going to be a simple quesadilla. And I said, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be simple. And then he pulled out the duck fat and, you know, home done ingredients, cooked up the chicken ahead of time, all the seasonings, the whole works. Everything looks fantastic. Of course, we got our quesadilla that we're just talking about. We got our queso, the cheese with the ground beef, the jalapenos and the shredded red pepper. Again, that's like a Dave signature on top. Why just serve queso when you can't add pickled jalapeno peppers that you did yourself? We got our guacamole that looks great. And dessert on the barbecue.
Yeah.
Who knew? And then
I'm interested for you to try that.
and then of course we started off with Margy's favorite beverage, our nice margaritas here. So listen, cheers, and thanks very much for the invitation. What a fantastic afternoon.
Cheers.
A
That was
pleasure
fun.
to come back. Cheers.
Yeah.
This week we brought Haley from Magic Spice to share her expertise on spices and spice mixtures, and we're going to use some great spices today and make up one of your famous burgers. My barbecue buddies were always talking about, when do we add the spice? Do we add it at the beginning? Do we mix it in the ground beef? Do we mix it in, add it at the end? Do all of the above? What do you think? You're the expert.
I definitely think when you're starting with a fresh burger, you want to add seasoning right off the bat. Now, you can also add it at the end, but you want to flavor the burger right off the beginning. That's always my number one rule.
You're going to add some spice mixture. Which one are you going to use? What's your
We'll do the grill today.
You're going to use the grill?
Yeah.
Okay. On Chillin N Grillin, we're all about heat with food, not just in the form of flames. What else do we? I noticed one you got here called Ghost. I'm going to guess there's some heat with that.
Yes, just some good ground beef. And you always want to put a little bit of egg and some breadcrumbs.
Okay. And this is the part where you're actually going to add some spice right to the mixture.
Yes.
Why don't I take care of that part? So we'll start off with the grill.
Yes.
All right. Say when.
Okay, let's start with quite a bit in there.
Quite a bit. All right. Like it. And are you
Flavor.
claiming the Ghost mixture is pretty hot?
It's very
So we
hot.
probably just want a little bit,
Yeah,
like that little bit.
you're brave.
There.
Actually, make sure it's mixed in there.
Now we're going to brush a little olive oil. You like to do that on there?
Yeah, just so it doesn't stick, and add a little bit of the nice color there.
Then should we season those up a little more?
Yeah, I would put a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Let's throw them on the grill. So it looks like our burgers are just about done, Haley. I see lots of smoke on them. They smell great.
They do.
They look great. There's a little bit of process with the bun. Now you do something interesting. You actually spice the bun up a little bit.
Yeah, just for an added kick.
So we got a little bit of olive oil on there, and then what are you gonna add?
Probably the original, I would say.
And then we're gonna toast them up, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we open that up and throw these on for a minute? Haley, these look great. We pulled them off the grill. I'm anxious to try how you have the bun kind of seasoned up. They toasted up nice.
Yes.
We've got the spice in the mixture. We added spice while they were cooking, and we put more spice on the bun.
Yeah.
Is it going to be too much spice?
No.
Never too much,
never,
right? Never too much. All right. Well, listen, thanks very much for coming out today and sharing some tips for our barbecuers out there on enjoying some great spices, what to look for in their spices, and how to cook great burgers with some great spices.
Thank you for having us.
Look forward to having you back one day.
Awesome.
Let's dig in. Not enough ghost pepper.